Good afternoon to everyone who's in this online forum on the role of universities in the 2030 agenda. Thank you to my colleagues at Zhejiang University. Thank you to President Wu Zhaohui and to Professor and Director Min Li. We're really honored to be here. Let me start by saying that the topic of this panel, sustainability, is really very near to Cornell's heart. Sustainability is one of, and maybe the critical problem facing the planet as a whole, and part of the issue in training our students, educating them to be able to lead in a sustainable world. Part of the difficulty is that sustainability is a problem that has many different dimensions. It is not simply a technological problem, nor a problem that the market alone can fix. We need to think about sustainability questions from an ecological, social, and economic perspective. Cornell University, as most of you know, is both an Ivy League university and a land grant. So we have a mission to create and disseminate knowledge that improves lives for people on the ground. So really is applied to make the world a better place. One of the core concerns at Cornell University is the question of sustainability. We have many different student organizations and faculty and campus events that are dedicated to sustainability. And I will say that a lot of that is driven by the students. So sustainability, it's a question about the students' future, and they're the ones who are pushing for more engagement on this issue, more education. And we as faculty and administrators, what we have to do is provide them the support, the tools that they need in order to be able to take on these questions. We have over 40 student organizations. Our students are very much involved in community service around sustainability, and our faculty, at last count, 1/3 of our faculty were doing research on something related to sustainability. They're all connected in what we call peer-to-peer networks, where every single student, staff, and faculty person at Cornell can access the network in order to ask any question that they might have about sustainability. Where to get the meal that's the most sustainable, how to do carbon offsets, where on campus can you find out information about sustainable engineering projects, and so on. Our faculty can find each other because we've created a center, the Cornell Atkinson Center for Sustainability, which has over 600 faculty fellows from every different discipline on campus. They come together through topical lunches, through events, and through research projects, as you can see here, where the Atkinson Center funds every year a series of projects with teams who are interested in using multiple tools from different disciplines, different perspectives to answer complicated questions such as wildlife management, particularly now, that's a core question in an age of epidemics, to questions of migration and the relationship between climate change and migration decisions, to here in the lower corner, a farmer-focused Internet of Things. As I said, students are really at the heart of this future and this interest in sustainability. And so they've taken the initiative to create everything from a green guide to campus, how to be sustainable on campus, to a set of student clubs, to the peer-to-peer network. We also have jobs and opportunities that we provide for our students, and a fair bit of student funding where we can support them in new research and in new activities dedicated to questions of sustainability. One of the ways in which students are increasingly involved around sustainability brings together their innovation as well as their penchant for entrepreneurship. So hackathons are a way to connect students to corporations, to mentors in organizations outside the university. This particular hackathon was to apply digital tools to sustainable agriculture, and it's part of what we call our A5 network, the top 5 agricultural schools in the world who partner to have global impact. So that, as you can see here, is Cornell University, Wageningen, the University of California at Davis, China Agricultural University, and the State University of Sao Paulo. The winning team for this most recent hackathon in digital agriculture put together an interface, so really an app for any smart device that would help farmers to make the best decision about where to plant, sell, and market their crops. The reason why they came up with this app was to try to address the very serious question of farmer suicides, particularly in India. So it's an app that has interesting questions around the digital interface, but also a real social component in a very core issue for a sustainable future, which is our food supply. One of the main ways in which we try to support students in their learning around sustainability is by turning the campus into a living laboratory. So we think about this from the perspective of One Health, which is a perspective that was launched by the vet school at Cornell, the veterinary medicine college at Cornell, where we take plants and the environment, animals and humans together to understand the context in which they live. One of the ways in which we are turning the campus into a living laboratory is through earth source heat, where we extract heat from roughly 2 miles down in the earth, circulating water through a series of wells that when it comes back to the surface is hot enough to hopefully heat most of our buildings by the time we're actually ready to move forward on this project. As you can imagine, this brings together students and faculty from engineering, from our facilities division, from our art, architecture, and planning unit, a whole series of opportunities for learning where they live. We also have a farmers market on campus that is staffed and serviced by our student-run farm, as well as by local farmers. And we have an annual Ag Day where we bring students from other areas of campus who might not be directly connected to agriculture, but who need to know more about where their food comes from, how it's produced, and how to make that system more sustainable. We also have quite a bit of student interest in the landscaping on campus, how to make that more sustainable and how to make their own interactions with the environment more pleasant and more sustainable. And here you see what happens when you bring art students together with horticulture students. They've created through a set of permaculture techniques what is called a sod sofa, so that you are directly connected to the earth when you're doing something as simple as taking a break from class. The students on campus have really pushed us to be very intentional about campus operations. So through a series of meetings and committees and discussions over a few years, we created a climate action plan that the students, the faculty, administration have really signed on to as a set of commitments for, we expect to be a carbon neutral campus by 2035. I think that goal might actually be a little bit closer, for better or for worse, because of this incredibly unusual moment with the pandemic. So the pandemic caught everybody by surprise, but has provided a real opportunity for thinking in ways that are innovative and might transform our relationship to questions of sustainability. Here you can see that we have a database that tracks our progress towards carbon neutrality. And I think we'll think about the pandemic as almost a living laboratory in and of itself. It has brought home the need to think in a way that is innovative and collaborative across disciplines, across species, and across regions of the globe, to think about how to organize life on this planet in a way that ensures that we will still be here hundreds of years into the future. This means that we need to think about new ways of researching, of teaching, and engagement, particularly around questions of sustainability. So we hope that the campus, the planet, and even our own students can be living laboratories for us to understand questions of sustainability into the future. Thank you.